Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today on my channel, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to have an interview with three gentlemen who have collaborated to create a website application called GamrTable. They're hoping with this site that gamers and game developers and game designers and publishers would have a venue to connect. So if you'd like to hear more about GamrTable, stay tuned. All right, well, here I am with Roger and David and Alexander from GamrTable, and I'm really excited to hear more from them about the development of this application and how they're developing the website to achieve their goals. But before we jump into that, I'd like to hear a little bit more from each of you about your background in gaming and what inspired you to pursue this endeavor.
Thanks for having us here today. I'm a longtime gamer. I started out playing first edition Dungeons and Dragons in the early 1980s, and I was instantly hooked. Over the years, I've played many types of games, including collectible card games, war games, strategy games, you name it. And that's sort of my journey as a gamer to get me here to where we are today.
Terrific.
Yeah, I'm David Schmidt, and I'm also an old-time gamer. In fact, I remember in the 1970s when my older brother came home with the blue box edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and the first time we did an adventure in Search of the Unknown, I was hooked from my very first session. And I've been gaming ever since. Would go to Dragonflight conventions in the Seattle area, and in fact, actually, I was one of the first players of Magic. I think that Dragonflight was one of the first conventions that Magic the Gathering presented at, and so I've been there for the beginning of a lot of the great games, and have just wanted to. I've been in the hobby really my entire life.
All right, great. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Alexander Reeser. Oh, hi, I'm Alexander Reeser. I'm the young guy of the group. Like these two, I've been a gamer my, relatively shorter life. Started with board games, video games, card games, that sort of thing. And then as time went on, like I think I was around 10 when I first got introduced to Dungeons and Dragons. At the time, we just got like a starter box of D&D 3.5, and none of us knew how to play. We didn't really understand the rules very well. Like I remember we were fighting like a black dragon, and one of us died, and we're just like, "What happens now?" You just stand up and you keep fighting next round. We didn't understand permadeath. As time went on, then I continued being a gamer, continued playing games. In 2020, I think like a lot of people, then that was a very isolating year for me. I had just graduated college, COVID happened, and so a lot of my relationships and friendships became mainly virtual. And so coming out of that, then I was left with this situation where I'm like, okay, how do I make in-person friends as an adult, especially considering I'm an introverted gamer? Um, and you know, online friends are great, but I could definitely feel that like not having that in-person connection was really harmful to my mental health. So I was struggling to find friends that way. And I bet that like within 10 miles of where I live, there's someone who could be my best friend, but I didn't really know how to find that person. It's really hard to find people, and that's the problem that GamrTable is trying to solve, is trying to help you find your best friend and make real life in-person connections through gaming, because we believe that being in person is beneficial more so than just being remote and online all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I heard about GamrTable through a mutual friend and connected with David because of that, and am excited to learn more about how the website works and how the application might benefit all of us and other gamers who are trying to find that best friend who has interests in some of the same games. So why don't you tell me more about you've kind of shared a little bit about the mission, but maybe if there's anything either Roger or David want to expand on in terms of the mission of GamrTable, and then also just start to help us understand what can GamrTable do for us gamers.
Yeah. So the mission, as Alexander said, is we want to help people make new friends through the medium of gaming. And we believe that any sort of social interaction with other people is going to be a good one. That's a great way to make new friends is through shared interests and hobbies. And you think that not only is it a lot of fun to go out and play games with people, it's really good for your long term mental health, and it allows you to and just really enjoy life.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that we're really living in the golden age of board games, which is kind of a blessing and a curse. When I was young, there was only a handful of games and everybody would play pretty much the same games. Today, there are so many possibilities. I mean, how many role-playing games are there today? How many board games? How many new ones come out every month? Which is wonderful. It's great to have everything to select from. But if you have that favorite game you want to play, it becomes harder and harder to find the other person who wants to play it. And also, it's kind of valuable to know what's hot right now, right? Because there could be an awesome game that you would love that you just plain haven't heard of. And I think that's what, the gaming community is about, is connecting people and to solve that exact problem.
Great. So it sounds like you have all of gamers in mind. And I know too that beyond gamers connecting, you're also hoping there might be additional connections for game developers and game publishers. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I've actually know several game designers, and constant feedback I get is that they want to get more playing testers, and they want to get their game out there. The best game in the world that nobody plays or nobody knows about, it doesn't really matter, right? If no one's seen your game and how well it's designed. And also, even during the feedback process, the creation process, people want to give feedback to their games. Game pubs are also like community locations that where people want to connect and meet up and make friends as well. And it's really, no one's in the gaming industry to get rich. They're in the gaming industry because they love games. They love games, they love connecting with people, they want to play games, and they want to build communities. And that's really what it's about. Is so our application is really designed to bring together everyone. You know, yes, the publishers, yes, the gameplay, yes, the publishers, yes, the game pubs, but most importantly, the players, because the players do come first on our app. That's where we started, and we kind of built out from there.
Terrific. Great. Well, it's been great to hear the impetus behind GamrTable and also just to hear a little bit about your stories. So, how about you share a little bit about exactly how GamrTable works? Maybe give us a demo of the site.
Absolutely. Bear with me. I'm okay. While I share this out, I don't use Zoom as often as the other apps anymore. It's weird. I find myself more in Discord than anything else. But this is our website. So I've already created an account, but based on my email address, you can use an email address, or we also have a Gmail login, so you can just use an integrated Gmail account. This is sort of a test account, so I want to use that one. The setup process is easy. This is not what you're gonna see, but this is the information she'll be asked. It takes you through the same information as a wizard. So what's your screen name, first name, last name, which you can put anything you want, email address, so we can just so, to validate the account. No, we do ask that people register their location. You don't have to do this, but the app's a lot less valuable because you're trying to find events in your area, and if we don't know where you're at, it's not as useful. But you can still use it. But because some people are going to join groups or join gamer sessions just because they already know about it through an outside link. But this is how you get the full use of the app. Interests, this is where we put in tags. This is actually pretty valuable. I'm going to show you this during the search. And then you can say a little bit about yourself, or, what you want to share, what you want to share. with other people. Share as much as little you want. Don't give too much information. So, um, whatever you're comfortable with. So this is the basic search screen, right? These are users and groups in my area, kind of everything together. Um, we've got individual users, and then we've got groups that we want to join. And what's great about it is well, of course, this is test data, but these are people that would be local to me. And also, you can see that you've got tags for the different games that they're interested in. Here's a group where you play chess. So it's a chess group people want to join. If you want to search for specific users, you can just search for specific users. Now, this is where those tags come in so important. By default, the application remembers what games you want to play, right? So those tags that you put in there, which tags you put in there, those are important, and that's going to be for your default view, just to make the app easy to use. But if you want to see everybody, or you want to have specific tags, you just click on clear tags, and now you see everybody in your area and about how far they are away from you. Now, honestly, finding users, so most people, sometimes you'll connect through here, but really the way you're actually going to connect is through groups. And then this is where you're actually going to spend most of your time, because this is groups or events. Events are really kind of like they're just like one-time groups. But the idea is this is what is happening in my area. You can go in and then you can find, oh, look, here are two, groups that are looking for members that are in my area. And once again, notice that it's using the tags. So if I want to see all the groups, boom, I just clear the tags. And now I see all the groups in my area. You have the ability in the search and in your profile to share out the search radius. So, do you want to go like 10 miles, 100 miles, depending on what you want. And then you can go in and, search for specific tag, also search for specific tags for, other than your default tags, like here's blood on the clock tower. Let's say I wanted to do, blood on the clock tower. I could search for that tag as well. And then I would see all those events in my area. Once you go into a group, so joining a group is pretty easy. If the group is open, you just join the group, and it tells you. We have a schedule. It tells you in the schedule, tells you the exact location. And there's also a chat. This is a way that people can talk to each other. And I think this feature is really good. Not only is it good for the people who run groups, sometimes game publishers or developers will want to run events in lots of different areas. This is the way they could communicate directly with each event, and keep track of and communicate with each event that they're running or one of their ambassadors are running, without spamming people's inbox, right? Because that's the other thing we don't want to do. We don't want to spam people's inbox and have a bunch of junk just come in every day. You go in and you engage when you want to engage, and then you see, and see what you want to see. So now creating group also, let's see, my groups. It's pretty easy. You just create a new group. And then, excuse me, I've got to move this thing again because I've actually got the zoom up. You just go in the name, you give the group name, a long description, how many people you want, invitation types. I have to invite you. Anyone can join. You can join with pending approval. Select, the images, and then also next step is the address. Well, we'll just do test group here, sure. Test group 22 D&D. Okay. All right. We'll have, I don't know, 7 people. It's a big group. Anyone can join. Why not? I like that picture. I rather like that dragon. Okay. So then you type in the address. The next step will be tags, and then finally you complete and publish the group, and it looks like any of the other groups. And really, what I'm really proud about the interface is it provides a lot of information very easily, very simply. I've gone to some of the other sites that schedule events. I personally don't find them as intuitive and as easy to get around. being able to see immediately in a map, this is what's in my area, and this is the game that I'm looking for. I've just found that to be the best way to go about it. And the other good news is right now we're in open beta, and so these are just the base features we have. The site's up and working right now. These are just the base features. We're adding features all the time, and we're definitely trying to engage with the community because we want to find what's useful to different people. And yeah, but actually, I should say I'm not the developers. I wonder if the developers want to add anything. I'm not much of a coder.
Yeah, maybe you
I
can
think
talk to us more about the current state of the site, adding on to what David's already shared.
yeah, I think Dave covered it pretty well. It is something that is an ongoing bit of work, and we're in a beta testing period right now as we're adding new features and things like that. So it is expanding. We're looking for ways of making it really easy for you to be able to find people with very little friction, and at the same time, making sure that your data is secure and that it's safe and everything like that.
Yeah, and right now, like Dave said, we're in open beta. So if you want to sign up, then come on, check out the site, see what you can see, and you can give us feedback. I don't think Dave showed this, but there we do have a little feedback widget that you can click on to leave us feedback, tell us what you think. And we're still in the early stages, and this is a very community-based app, so there might not be a lot of people in your area yet, but that's why we need your help to build this community, so that we can really have a nationwide community of gamers. Um, right now, we're trying to focus on specifically gamers in the Seattle area because we want to try to build a nice community in Seattle so that we can actually start getting people getting value out of our app. Because, like Dave said about games, our app doesn't really work if there's no one on it. But yeah, if you're in the Northwest US and you're interested, then please come check us out.
And it's really just us three right now. We're doing this all really on our own dime in our own time. And we've got a Discord channel where you can engage with us directly. So if there's things you like about the app, we'd love to have positive feedback or hear positive stories, but negative feedback or things that you wish for, you have the ability, we want the community to engage with us directly. Because we want to find how people are using the app and what's useful to them.
All right. Well, very good. Well, how can people connect with you outside of the app? Are there events you're going to be attending? Are there other ways that people could find you in order to ask questions beyond the widget on your site?
Um, yes. So we've got our Discord server, which I think we'll send you the link to the Discord server that maybe you can add to the YouTube channel so people can go directly. We also publish a lot. We've made our Seattle gaming in Reddit sort of our home base to engage with the community. I also want to give a little shout out to Emerald City LAN, a great organization that we've been partnering with. And so those are two places to get a hold of us. And of course, on the site's going to be a community as well. And as I said, as Alexander said, we have feedback and ways to contact us on the site too. And finally, I believe next week we're going to be at the Future of Tabletop Gaming in Olympia, Washington. That's a game developers. We're joining Seattle Indies, and so yeah, we're actually available in a lot of the Seattle gaming communities and organizations.
Don't forget to mention too that we're going to Zulus in Linwood on a weekly basis to do gaming up there with people.
Yes. Yes, that's right now. We run a game event every Saturday at Zulu 2 in Linwood, which is a terrific a local game pub that we like, that we really enjoy. Again, another example of good communities. Seattle's actually kind of lucky. I don't know how the rest of the nation is, but Seattle's lucky to have a lot of good game pubs available.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, is there any last things you would want to add? Anything else that you just want to make sure the audience hears before we wrap things up today?
Always roll 20s.
Yeah, get out there, play some games.
Okay, terrific. Well, I appreciate the time you've given me today and the information about GamrTable. I registered a few weeks back and have been experimenting with it a little bit, and I'm excited to see where this will go. I hope that it can be just what you hope it can be, a great service for game developers, game creators, publishers, pub sites, but also especially and most prominently us as gamers, that we can find one another, maybe find our new best friend out there. So thank you for your time and best wishes as you continue to develop the site. I know I'll be following along and hopefully using it for great benefit for myself and meeting with other gamers in the area.
Thanks for having us on today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Take care, guys.
Have a good one.